I was born 3 years before the Cultural Revolution. At an early age, the unspeakable sufferings that most families in China had made me disenchanted with the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. When I left, I waved back. I say, my love, I don't know when I'll be back. When I first came to United States, I just breathed a different air. The freedom is something people intrinsically thirst for. I think the beauty of democracy is that we can shut government from obtaining such a legal power to censor, to surveil, to persecute the dissent. And we have to be always vigilant. The privacy of donors. This issue is life-death issue.
So many people think donor privacy is just something to protect millionaires in order to hide their giving to issues, to nonprofits. But this impacts every person in America. People United for Privacy, one of our main goals is to educate the American population and also to state and federal leaders about the importance of this basic American right. The ability for you to contribute to issues and causes you care about as much or as little as you want. If I want to give money to Planned Parenthood and I live in a very conservative area, I should be able to do that without my neighbors knowing. And the same thing too, if I support gun rights and want to give money to the NRA, I should be able to do that also. You know, I know America isn't China, but people are still losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods when they take an issue or take a stance over something that's not popular. And unfortunately, there's no shortage of stories out there. Donor privacy doesn't just impact individuals, it impacts organizations. Many are concerned about their donors being doxxed.
There's an immediate threat to the things you believe in if you're unable to protect donor privacy. Dr. Yang understands the value of American freedom and liberty in a way that many Americans take for granted.
That was 1989, during the Tiananmen student movement.
China uses the information that is disclosed through U.S. sources in order to harass and surveil the supporters of Dr. Yang's nonprofit. His ability to fight for those human rights, to fight for democracy, is threatened if his donors are being put in jail, being surveilled, being harassed.
We rely on individuals' support to sustain our work. We always have to be mindful of safety issues. The Chinese government goes after our members, our supporters, our donors. Mr. Li is a Chinese businessman. He clandestinely financially supported human rights and democracy work in China and in Hong Kong. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison.
It takes a lot of courage to stand up to a totalitarian regime like China, understanding the risk to your family, to your friends, and it's going to be courageous people like Dr. Yang that protects and defends our free speech rights going forward.
I know a lot of people are calling this transparency. This is a political tool. At the end of the day, why do you need a list? What are you going to do with the names on that list? There's no need to have that information out there. The Personal Privacy Protection Act is proactive donor privacy legislation that we are moving in the states. We're looking at spreading it around in a bipartisan fashion. Privacy is for people and transparency is for government.
Even established democracy can go backward if you allow it to. Only thing we can count on is ourselves. We have to be vigilant. It is an ongoing job to defend democracy, defend freedom. If you give up one thing today, you have to be prepared to give up another thing tomorrow.